Hello everyone, this is me, Elish. So today I came back with another vlog video again, and this vlog video is going to be much more useful. I believe it's going to be much more useful because it's a lockdown time and most of us are staying home, and one of the problems we have is how to focus. So I was having this problem in the beginning of lockdown, and I had had this problem for nearly 2 weeks, but then I discovered the methods that would have helped me since the beginning, but I didn't know about this. So I'm gonna be sharing some tips which will let you concentrate on your studies or on the work you're doing. Since this is a lockdown time, I'm having a lot of problems with concentration, so I began using this method and it was really useful to me, and I believe it's gonna be useful to you as well. So please watch this video until the end because I'm gonna be talking about really important things while describing my day, how I spent it during the lockdown, and it's gonna be pretty much showing a day of mine during this lockdown because I haven't been doing too many different things in different days. So let's get to the video. As most of you know, I'm an undergrad student in the UK, and because of this ongoing situation with the virus, I had to leave the UK and come back to Azerbaijan. So when I came back, I had some sleep deprivation problems, and when I was sleep deprived, it continued for 3 or 4 days, and it was because of the time zone differences as well. But I got back to normal. Although I went back to normal, I had some problems, especially regarding concentration, because I wasn't able to concentrate on my studies because I wasn't able to think about anything else but leaving the UK and planning my travel route. So I had to face this problem because I had a Spanish oral exam, and later on I had to focus on my May exams while I had an essay, which I still have an essay, and there's a 4 days of deadline left for me, and I'm gonna be beginning to do this tomorrow. And I don't know, I hopefully be successful, and probably I will be successful. But anyways, so how my lockdown goes on during the day. So the first thing I'm doing in the morning is to play a game. As soon as I wake up, I'm playing this great game. It's about strategy, and I love strategy games because I love the subject of strategy as well. I'm so obsessed with that, and I really like playing chess as well regarding the strategy games. But it's more like building your city, building your nation or something like that. So I'm kind of obsessed with that, but I'm trying not to pay too much attention to the game, which in order not to be obsessed with this game, I used the methods that I'm going to be talking about at the end, which was really helpful to take away my attention from the game to do some work on proper things like my studies or reading books or watching some movies, which I'm still having problems with watching movies because I cannot really focus on movies. I'm trying to solve that problem, and hopefully when I come up with some solution, I'll share that with you as well. Although I play a game in the morning, I don't forget to have breakfast because I'm a normal human being and I need some ingredients. And after having my breakfast, I just begin my studies. And I feel like that's where my day actually begins, because if I don't do any work over the day, I feel like that day is not a day, but they're more like to be called trash. I think you can add this word to your dictionaries because that's the best word to describe that kind of day. So let's get back to my routine. So one of the things I'm doing is to study in the morning, because why I'm studying in the morning but not at the night? The reason for that is I believe when you wake up in the morning, you have less in your mind, so you can focus on your lessons way better, or on your works, at whatever you do, at whatever you need to focus on. So once you focus on that, you can work for a longer time. But for example, when I do my work during the afternoon, that usually is not really effective because I cannot really focus too much and I have too much on my mind by the afternoon. So maybe I'm gonna be dealing with too much planning, so my mind is gonna be really confused and not being able to focus on my work, but instead I'm gonna be working on planning for like all day, and I'm not gonna be able to do anything at the end of the day. So one suggestion for you here: if you're gonna plan your day, please do not do this during the morning and do it before that day, so you can be more precise and you can stick to your plan instead of thinking about that plan that day, so you can focus on your work instead of focusing on your plan. So another important thing I'm doing during the day is to read a book. And if I don't read a book, I feel like I waste my day and I didn't use it very carefully. and it's the most essential thing in my life. Basically, what I'm doing is to read the book between the study times, and I'm trying to do this as carefully as possible. And the method I'm using for reading a book is very simple. So I know some of us may really focus on studying and may have too much work to do and can be really tired at the end of the day and can just sleep right away or just surf on social media and not to remember about the book at any point. So what I'm doing is to read the book in between my study time. So what I'm doing is to divide my plan up. Let's say I have 3 hours of study time and I'm gonna be dividing my time into three parts. So 1 hour of studying, then 15 minutes for book break, and then 1 hour of studying again, then 15 minutes of book, then 1 hour of studying again, and 15 minutes of book. So with this way, I'm gonna be more effective and at least I'm gonna be able to read, let's say, around 20 to 30 pages, depending on the book, depending on the font size, and obviously depending on the language I'm reading as well. If it's an English language book, probably it's going to be 20 pages, and if it's Azerbaijani, it's going to be probably like 30 pages. And again, it also depends on the font size and the size of the book, and it depends on what genre I'm reading. Basically, the point is not about like how much you read. The point is at least you read something. The reason I'm using this method is for not losing my focus, because when I'm doing my studies and let's say I want to take a break for 10 minutes and let's say I'm going to be surfing on social media, I have a great chance to lose my focus. So when you read a book, you're focusing on reading instead of focusing on something totally different from what you do. So those things were all about my studying routine and reading books. I also read books during the rest of the day, sometimes when I find some time during the night when I'm not too much tired, and I usually find some time, at least 1 or 2 hours, and that helps me a lot to finish a book. Otherwise, I won't be really able to finish a book during just like reading during this study period. So the next thing I'm doing, especially during the afternoon, is to shoot some videos or make some blog posts for my followers or for my subscribers. So when I'm doing videos, I kind of think about their ideas, like what I should do, what I'm gonna talk about. But I don't usually make text. That's why if you see some kinds of mumbling or like I'm just saying for a long time, it's because I did not really make any text beforehand because I want to seem natural in front of camera. So sometimes it wastes a lot of my time and that's not a good method. Obviously, it's better if you make a text beforehand. Obviously, I would rather make text if I'm doing some educational video, like if I'm talking about history or I don't know, some facts about writers, instead of just standing in front of camera, just talking them randomly. Because if you don't know anything, you're not going to be able to talk randomly because that's not going to make sense. So what I'm doing is to shoot videos and make blog posts during the afternoon because usually I'm sharing my post at 6 p.m. or during like 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. It's usually during the afternoon. Next thing I'm doing is to watch some YouTube videos which are educational or let's say looks like documentary. I really like to watch those videos because some documentaries on the YouTube, especially the ones made by some channels which I may be mentioning in the description part. So I'm watching those videos which are really educational. That kind of helps me out about expanding my world outlook and it helps me a lot. And I suggest everyone to watch some YouTube videos, the ones that are educational, not like, I don't know, some stupid vlog videos. I like to watch them as well, but I don't know, like when I have like too much free time and I have nothing else to do, I just want to have fun. I'm watching those stupid videos as well, but I like to watch more educational videos on YouTube because I feel like if you use internet in the right way, you can get better things instead of getting the worst things from internet. And I'm a tough believer of this statement and I try to stick to this thing. So the last thing I'm doing during the day, or at least I'm trying to do, is to watch some series or watch some movies. So basically, I cannot really focus on movies or TV series for the past 1 or 2 months, which I really hate this situation, but I cannot really do anything. The last series I have watched properly was Office and The Man in the High Castle. The Man in the High Castle was lit, but The Office was kind of funny as well, but rest of the things I couldn't really watch. Even I stopped watching Narcos Mexico second season. So, which was one of my favorite TV shows, which I cannot watch anymore because I cannot really focus on that. If I come up with any method for that, I will just tell you as well. I'll make another video for that, so that can be useful and that can bring more views to my channel. As I told in the beginning of the video, I'm going to be talking about the method I'm using, and that method is called Pomodoro Method. So, Pomodoro is a way where you focus on your studies for a while, then you take a small break, then you again like begin to do your works. So, there are some few apps which I'm gonna put some links for them. And one of the apps I'm using is called the Focus To Do, and that's really useful app for me because it has the Pomodoro algorithm inside. And basically what you do is to do some work for 25 minutes, then you take 5 minutes of break, do whatever you want, then again you're focusing on for another 25 minutes, which you can also increase that periods, which I'm usually using like 1 hour period. I'm also using this for reading a book if I have nothing else to do. For example, I'm gonna put in like 1 hour of reading a book, then again like 5 minutes of break, or sometimes I may not take a break, just like go on reading. It depends on my mood. So with this method, you can easily focus. But the one thing I'm using here is not to use my phone. Instead, once I'm focusing on studies, like as I said before, 1 hour of studying, I'm putting 15 minutes of break for reading a book. So with this way, I do not lose my focus, and also I can use the Pomodoro method more effectively. And the one good thing about this app is, like when you use this Pomodoro method, as much as you focus on doing things, you get some points for that. I don't know, it's some kind of sunlight energy or something like that. And you have some plant to grow. And once you do focus on something, let's say you're gonna be focusing on for like 60 minutes, and it's gonna give you 60 sunlight energy, I think. So you can use that energy to grow up your plant, and you just go over every level, and with every new level you get like more experience that you need to fill in. Basically, this method works really good, and I'm gonna putting the link of that app down below in the description, so you can just go to the App Store or Google Play Store and just like download that app, because that's really useful. That's the method I'm using. It's just I'm using it in a different way. As I told you before, I'm not focusing on my social media, and I suggest you to not to focus on your social media. Please don't do that. That's kind of trap. And I believe this lockdown has taught us how social media can be really addictive, and that I was kind of addicted for, like, as I said before, like for 2 weeks. Then I just gave up and I began using this method so I can read more, I can do more, and I believe I can do more in the upcoming days because I have an essay. I have 4 days to finish that, and hopefully I'm gonna be able to do that. And if I'm gonna be able to do that, I'll be sharing the results with you. So that's it, and that was the video. If you used the Pomodoro method before, please tell that in the comments below if it was effective or not. And if you haven't used it, and if you find this video useful, please share it with your friends, and please share my channel. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to like my video. See you in the next videos. Bye.